to Rel 105 class. That is John and Woman value. Uh, I would like to start by explaining the course outline. That is, explain the course itself. Now, when we talk about religion and human value, you see that we have two concepts there. We have religion and we have human values. So I would like to take human values first. Talk about human values. We'll talk about values that are inherent in man. However, there is need for us to explain what values are. Now, values, when we go to the dictionary meaning of values, we talk about the degree of importance given to something. That is the degree of importance given to something. That is the value of something is determined by how important that thing is. For example, this jacket is much more important to me than this shirt, and that's because of the value I place, and that leads me to place much value on the jacket than the shirt. So when we talk about value, we're talking about the degree of importance based on something. Also, it can be the quality of an object. That is, the quality of an object determines its value. Let me make use of my tie again as an example. The qualities of this jacket is much more than that of the shirt, and because of that, I'll place much value on the jacket than the shirt. So the value of an object or a person is determined by what? The quality of the object. Also, it could be the esteemed place of something. Value can also mean the esteemed place of something. That is, when you place much esteem on a person, on an object, means how valuable that thing is. For example, we give more prestige, respect, and esteem to women. We place on human life than we place on animals, especially in this part of the world. In this part of the world, we place more esteem, more value, and more prestige on human's life than that of animal. And so the value we give to human is quite different from that we give to an animal. So with that, I think I've been able to explain value as we have it in the dictionary. Different definitions given to it as we have it in the dictionary. However, as it is related to this course, values are fundamental principles that guides human behavior. And for the these are principles that determines how man behave in the society, how an individual behave in the society. My principles cannot be the same as that of a friend, and that will make our values not to be the same. The way we relate is determined by our values. The way we relate is determined by our values. If I place more values on money, the way I interact with society will be guided by my principles and by my values. Our determination of what is right, that's evaluation of what is right or wrong, is determined by our values. Whatever I believe in, whatever my principles are, will determine how I evaluate a situation. Now, if one of my values is honesty, I will use honesty as one of my values to judge, to evaluate a situation. I would prefer a man to be truthful than not to be truthful because of my values. That's one of my values, honesty. So honesty helps us to evaluate. That is, our values determines how we evaluate. It is what is legitimate and what is legitimate. That is, what is legitimate and what is illegitimate. With our values, we determine what is legitimate and what is not illegitimate. If I believe in honesty, if one of our values is honesty, I will believe that man must not steal. Man must be upright. And to me, an upright person is a legitimate person. A Yahoo guy, to me, will not be an honest person. I will be an legitimate person. So whatever business that does not portray or show honesty will be illegitimate to me. And whatever imbibes and portray honesty will be legitimate. Also, our values determine what we choose. So our choices are determined by our values. For example, a Christian will prefer to marry someone that is godly, someone that is religious, someone that attends church, than to marry someone that is a club goer, someone that goes to club every day. A Muslim would prefer to a lady that covers her hair, that will put on a nice gown that will get to the floor. And so, in other words, our preferred behaviors are our values. Out of many, we chose to pick some of the behaviors. So, in other words, as I've said before, values is making choices. While we have many, out of many, we prefer to take some and imbibe those. It may be negative or positive. It may be negative or positive. So when we talk about values, we are not talking about just positive values. We have negative values too. And these negative values became ours because we have chosen them out of many. And that will take me to formation of values. Formations of values. How do you come about these values we have? How do you come about it? How do you come about the values we have? As I've said, values are fundamental principles that guides human behavior. So these values, are they inherent or we learn or imbibe them? How do you get about these values? That's what we're going to discuss. This topic is value formation. Values formation. How do you come about these values that we hold dearly? Basically, we have two ways. It's either we are taught or we catch it. As kids, we catch values. We catch values. Most of the values we hold dearly now, we caught them from our parents. And that is why it is very, very important that a child grows in a very nice environment. When you see a child that is aggressive, you need to get to the parents. You need to visit the parents. You need to get to the home to know what is happening there. Most of the times, parents determines how the child behaves in the society. Now, let's take a family where love and peace reign. Where love and peace reign, you will see the children growing to be someone that values love and peace and also imbibe that values. So that's cuts those values, that's love and peace, from the family. When the child is born, the child is a tabula rasa, that's an empty slate. So whatever is written on it stays and stays. When you see a family where the mother hold on to the father's shirt, take it from me, the daughter will also go to hold on to her husband's shirt, because to her, that's the only way to show your anger. That's the only way to get things done. Also, a guy or a man that's a wife beater, go to the background, check the father. The father too must be a wife beater. However, we have some people that imbibe some of these values from somewhere else. But I want you to know that most of the values we hold on dearly to, or we hold dearly to, values we get from our. Therefore, we believe that family is one of the tools or agents of value formation. That is, for a value to be formed, the family has a role to play, because the child gets a lot of values from the family. Also, we believe that culture is another agent of value formation, another tools of value formation. Our culture, what is culturally acceptable, also contributes to our value formation. If a culture accepts norms, accepts norms, that norms indirectly forms value formation. We see culture as providing specific models for how to feel, how to behave, and how to think. And that is why we say values are relative. What is acceptable in a culture is in another culture. So value formation, we cannot do without culture and value formation, because it gives and provides specific models of how to think and how to feel in a society. Also, religion. Religion also determines what our values are. Some people are what they are. They have the values they have because of their religion. If not for religion, some won't have the values they have. The values many people have today are values that they inculcate from their religion. They imbibe these values from their religion. So religion is one of those tools, one of those agents, or one of the agents of value formation. A lot of people are what they are today. They behave the way they behave today because of their religion. Their religion doctrines, their religion teachings formulate and dictate the way they behave in the society. Now, religious values are values that are in religion. These religious values is being transferred to many from there we move on to types of values. We have various types of values. We have historical values, sociological values, we have religious value, human values, personal values, and the likes. We have many. For this class, we are going to take some of them. I would like to start with personal values. Now, personal values are values that you believe in. Personal values, from the word personal, is values that an individual imbibes and exhibits in the society. They are not common values, because personal values may be negative or positive. So whatever a man takes to be his own values may not be the same with that of his friend. For example, my personal value may be punctuality. I may believe that it's good to be punctual to a place, that it's better for an individual to be at a meeting at a particular time given. However, some people believe that no, that being punctual is not important. So our personal value is not the same. But whatever you believe in, whatever determines how you behave in society, is what we call as personal value. So as I've said, it differs from one person to the other. Another types of values is cultural value. Cultural values are values that are embedded in the culture of a group of people. Now, I want to talk about culture. So, our culture is the total way of life of a group of people, the way a group of people live, the way they associate, the way they relate with one another. So that's what culture. And you know, you have religion in culture. However, with values, the norms, the norms, the culture of a value determines the values of that society. So when we talk about cultural values, we are talking about the principles, the way of life of a given people. Can be pieced together. We can bring it together. We can get them through what has been passed on to from one generation to the other from the ancestors. You know, a group of people have their way of life, the way they relate, the way they behave in society, and these norms, these customs are passed from one generation to the other. For example, let's take Ondo, for example. The Ondo people so much believe in Ogun festival. They believe in the worship of Ogun, and they pass this storm of Ogun worshiping, Ogun worship, in what, from one generation to the other. They pass it from one generation to the other. It has become part of the part of the values, and food also. What they eat. Although people believe in pounded yam. Pounded yam to them is the king of any cuisine. They believe that if you fail to entertain a guest with pounded yam, then you have not done the right thing. You have not entertained the guests enough, because it's been in their culture, it's been their custom. It's one of the values.